The story began on a beautiful starry night in a village, where Vlad was staring at a frog, remarking that no matter how many times he looked at it, it still seemed fascinating. Zemina approached and said she knew he would be there, noting that he had been distant lately. Vlad told her not to get on his nerves since it was one of the few breaks he had. She wondered if he was serious, suggesting that was the reason people had started spreading rumors about him. Vlad asked what rumors she was talking about. Zemina looked around to make sure no one else was listening and asked if Vlad still heard a voice whenever he picked up a stick or something similar, and what sins he might have committed in a past life, since no one would have expected him to be struck by lightning on a clear day, black lightning at that. She added that he should stay cooped up in the shop for a while, since people were saying the new buyer's shop was sensitive about omens and such. She reminded him that he used to work as a heresy inquisitor, so if he saw anyone suspicious, they would be sent straight to the estate to be burned. Vlad wondered why she was telling him all that. Zemina explained that she was worried about him, as many people had seen him being struck by lightning and were already talking behind his back, so he should stop standing around absent-mindedly. She asked what would happen if the church took him away. Vlad said he wouldn't be dragged off just for staring at a sword for a while. She mentioned the sword seemed dense and told him he should just buy it. Vlad replied that it was too expensive. Zemina wondered how expensive it could be since it was only from a back-alley blacksmith, and even offered to buy it for him. Vlad told her it cost 5 gold. Zemina was shocked, saying such a worthless metal chunk cost more than she would earn in a whole year. At that moment, the blacksmith approached and asked if she had just called it a worthless chunk of metal. He grew furious and warned them to get out of his sight, insisting it wasn't something meant for back-alley kids like them. Zemina asked who else would buy the sword if it was being sold in the slums, pointing out that only someone from the slums would even see it, and wondered if the old man had lost his mind. The blacksmith grew furious and demanded to know where her manners were. She questioned why he was making such a ruckus by forging a sword only knights would use and wondered if his time had come. The old man, angered even more, retorted that his time on earth was indeed almost over and told her to go back to her shop and wash the dishes, calling her an immature girl. Annoyed, Zemina asked what he had just called her, insisting she was a grown lady. Vlad tried to calm her down, asking her not to get worked up about it, but both of them were already upset. Zemina demanded to be let go, claiming she hadn't said anything wrong to the old man. The blacksmith shot back that she was rich and venomous, reminding her that he had once given her plenty of food. He then noticed the footprints in the dirt and realized that Vlad had been standing there for quite some time. He told Vlad to focus on meeting his instincts, warning that it would only become harder if he nurtured his dream in such a place. The old man admitted he knew very well that slum children never made it out of the slums, which was why he intended to sell the sword to someone who could escape and rise above. He refused to let his final work rot there, declaring that for him, it was life itself, a creation meant to shine in a grander place. That place was Schoara, the center of the northern economy and the lighthouse of the northern region, its brilliance owed to the power of the Vayezid family. But such brilliance naturally harbored shadows as well. In Schoara, where snow fell only lightly, all manner of filth and corruption was thrown into its depths. In a bar, people were enjoying themselves when, on the first floor, a man angrily dragged a woman, accusing her of scamming him. She asked how she could possibly have tried to scam him. He replied that he had worked as a mercenary for 20 years, so how dare she sell him fake medicines. Vlad arrived, remarking that it was never quiet there. The man recognized him as the candle maker, said it was a great time, and ordered him to bring the woman over. Vlad responded that if the man wanted to meet his madam, he would have to pay in gold coins, not silver. The man grew angrier, asking if Vlad really wanted gold while running a business like that, and demanded that Vlad bring his own mother if the woman wasn't available. Vlad's temper rose, and the man shouted that the candle measuring time was a fraud, since it had burned down before he had even begun. Vlad, irritated, asked how the man expected to have any fun with only a 5-minute session, and told him to go back to his wife if he couldn't afford it. The man became furious, but Vlad pointed at the clock and challenged him to check if the candle lasted 5 minutes or not. He declared that if it didn't, the man could do whatever he wanted to the woman. The man questioned why he should listen to a scammer like Vlad, but Vlad pressed him to accept, warning that if it did last 5 minutes, he would beat the man himself. The mercenary grew uneasy, disturbed by Vlad's eyes, while Vlad lit the candle, determined to prove who the real scammer was. Everyone in the bar, including the man, the woman he had dragged, and Vlad himself, watched as the candle burned steadily for 5 minutes. The man, worried, muttered about the earlier time. Vlad told him to strike with a stick, insisting it had lasted the full time. He then kicked the man, knocking him down in front of a door, and declared that the man was finished. Even as the mercenary begged for a moment, Vlad continued beating him, accusing him of being the real scammer and mocking his claim of being a mercenary. He reminded him of the insult about his mother and demanded he show more respect to people who had none. That night, he beat the man brutally. The next morning, Vlad sat with a man named George who was eating his meal. Vlad told him that someone had tampered with the candle since it hadn't truly been 5 minutes. He asked if George understood. A woman suddenly shouted, asking who had dared to interfere with their precious candle. Vlad answered that they would have to find out. The woman told him to go and look for the culprit. Vlad wondered how he was supposed to find them. She then admitted she had already found the culprit. When Vlad asked who it was, she revealed that it was none other than herself, Marcella, the head of Rose's Smiles. She explained that she had only been pulling a prank, trying to scam the drunkards and squeeze more money out of them. Vlad and George were shocked. After a moment, Vlad hurried downstairs, wondering whether he had beaten the man the previous night for no reason and what he could do as a mere employee. A man who had admired Vlad's actions the day before caught up with him and said something had happened while Vlad was gone. He clapped a hand on Vlad's shoulder and told him to fetch a tip from his candle sales the day before, explaining that they needed money but were completely broke. Vlad asked what they were planning. The man quickly told him not to look so frightened and insisted he was not demanding money outright but offering a fair trade. If Vlad would give him some change, he would repay it. Vlad realized the man was describing a pickpocket scheme and thought it both awkward and poorly executed. The man pointed to a boy and asked if Vlad remembered him, adding that he could sell the child for 40 silver, an apparently good bargain. Vlad stared at the boy's hands and ankles and asked whether they had been harmed. The man answered that he would never have called Vlad over if he had cut them off. He had only taught the boy a lesson. Annoyed, Vlad tossed some coins at them and said he trusted they would use the money, but warned they should kill their victims next time if they meant business, rather than drag him into it. The gang members left, protesting that they were criminals but not murderers. Vlad accused the man of scamming his own co-workers. The man retorted that he had told everyone Vlad would take the deal and that Vlad controlled the vagrant kids. Vlad looked at the boy, who apologized, saying he had only been trying to play it safe and had failed. Vlad asked whether any bones were broken. The boy denied it. Vlad then told him to get out of there before he broke them. The world spread rumors from one encounter to the next, speculating about the meaning behind the 5 gold coins. The scene shifted to the port, where Harmon of the Hoover family, a whale hunter captain, was signing papers. He remarked that the boy was lucky not to have lost any fingers, though he had ended up becoming a public example for everyone. He added that he had also heard the candles had been tampered with. The person he was speaking to was Vlad, who wondered if Harmon had also heard the story. Harmon replied that the rumors had been circulating for a while, though few truly believed them. He said people might think the candles were faulty, but Marcella was not the kind of person to do something like that. Vlad agreed, saying he had thought the same, and George seemed to know it as well. They weren't the type to tamper with something like that. Harmon said that if they had, then there must have been a good reason. Vlad asked what reason that could be. Harmon answered that there was a 90% chance they were in urgent need of money. He then warned Vlad to be careful, since there was only one reason an organization would try to gather money so quickly. Vlad was reminded of a war against another organization, and that the 5 bosses who had dominated the slums of Schoarra were George, Blackbeard, Dice, Captain Hoover, and One-Armed Jack. All the darkness of life seemed to close in on him as he remained hidden in the shadows, soundless, just like in the present. A man then approached and asked him where his boss was. Vlad felt that accidents and destruction were happening without any warning. If you like this video, so comment down for the next part.